Peace, everyone. Just waiting for one last thing. Oh, there we go. How's the sound? Is it too loud? The background music? Wait for a second. Waiting for folks to come in. How's everybody doing today? I myself am doing pretty well. Okay, now today you cannot tell me that you can't see that I have been getting some sun. Okay? I think now it's pretty evident that I've been getting that sun. It was a really sunny day. You know, it's still winter, so it's not warm per se, but it didn't feel too cold. Maybe I just had enough layers on. But yeah, I know y'all see the tan setting in. All right, well, we can get this thing started. You know, I'd like to open us up in prayer, giving thanks to the Most High. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. O Allah, we thank you for allowing us to witness and experience your marvelous creation, and for the opportunity to connect for a higher purpose. May we rise above the chaos of this wicked world. May we be uplifted, find balance, and become grounded. We love you, we thank you, we praise you, we honor you in your holy and righteous name, in the name of your risen and exalted Christ, and in the name of your divine reminder, leader, teacher, guide, Jesus in our midst, we pray. Ameen. Peace, everyone. How's everybody doing today? Before we get started, I would like to just welcome you to Zewdy's Zen Zone. If this is your first time here, this is a virtual sacred space where we come together to discuss different aspects of healing and well-being and the power of positive and forward thinking, and the interconnectedness of all of that. Because healing is not just a physical thing, it's not just a mental thing, it's physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, and everything is connected. Everything goes together. And and welcome back if you are a regular here in the Zen Zone. It's good to have you visiting with me once again. I would like to know where everybody is watching from. So, you know, give me that info, ASL, age, sex, location. Of course, Zewdy, I am 30, female, Georgia, United States. Let's see what's going on here. Peace, rural, livety, and NEO. Greetings. Let me see what's going on the Facebook. There we go. Let me share it. See, as I'm looking at myself on my screen, I see very evidently that I've been getting some sunlight. Okay, this is not like makeup or like foundation, concealer. This is me. This is my skin. It's glowing. Don't mind me. I'm just excited. Because it's winter time, I didn't think that I could ever really get a tan like this, especially in the winter. But I mean, the sun, if it's shining and you get an adequate amount, then it comes through. You know what I'm saying? Peace, my sister Zewdy. That bio coffee, though, my goodness. Yes, my sister Greta got her bio coffee. So for those of you who don't know, once a month I have a bio coffee giveaway on my Instagram page, and where you just enter, very simple rules. You just follow me and bio coffee, tag a couple people, and then at the end of the giveaway, a winner is chosen. And so Greta was the winner of last month's giveaway. So I'm very glad that she got her bio coffee. I happen to be sipping my bio coffee right now. I don't know. I don't want to spill it, but I'm trying to show y'all. There we go. You like my little cute mug? This is for y'all. I believe in you. Each and every last one of you that wants to do something good in this life. I believe in you. Because that's what we're here to do, right? We're here to do good things, big things. We're here to help make the world a better place. Not to be cliche, but I mean, that's really what we're here to do. To establish the kingdom of God here. The kingdom of heaven on earth. And, we all got a part to play in it. And, just keep striving, keep figuring it out. As I am. And, I'm in a very good mood today, despite some difficulties that have been taking place, not directly personally, but just some emergency situations. But I'm not stressing about it, and I've been praying, talking to Allah consistently, and I believe that is what is helping me to manage what may otherwise be a stressful situation. That's one of the things, which happens to be pretty relevant and on time, considering what we've been discussing here in the Zen Zone as far as mental health is concerned and stress and all that kind of stuff. I really enjoyed last week, and I was very happy to get the feedback that I did from some of you, how what I was sharing was insightful and helpful, and there were some things that you could actually apply to your life and use to improve. And that's why we're here as well. Self-improvement is the basis for community development, and that's the name of the study guides that I'm in, by the way, if you don't remember, which I will be pulling from today as well for our topics. Also, before we get started, I want to shout out those who have donated within the last week. So shout out to Dale Mollenhauer and Laketrick. Thank y'all very much. I appreciate it. Your donations, your offerings really help me continue, sustain my life, pay my bills, all that kind of stuff. For real. Not to get too personal, but I like to share because I want people to know the reality of me and my situation in life. And just being real, being authentic. I have been unemployed for almost a year now, but through your offerings and donations, I have really been able to sustain myself and not lose my place of residence or anything like that. I've been able to feed myself, by the grace of Allah. So I thank Allah for your donations. I thank Allah for your interest in what I have here, and the exchange, the energy exchange that's happening, because I saw a need, which was the feelings of fear and uncertainty and chaos and that sort of thing that I personally wasn't experiencing, but I had something to offer to help alleviate that and to help us come together and decompress, breathe deeply. In fact, let us take 3 deep breaths before we continue. All right, so let's do it. Breathe deeply in through your nose. Let your bellies expand as you take in the air. And exhale. You can exhale through the nose or the mouth, whichever one you prefer. Let's take a second inhale. And exhale. One more, inhale through the nose. And exhale. I'm ready to go lie down. Nah, but anyway, that was relaxing for me. I hope it was relaxing for you too. Let's see. All right, 35 male Georgia, 30 female New Jersey. Oh, thank you. All right, what's going on the Facebook? I don't think I seen where the people from. What y'all saying? Do. Aw. Oh, people are asking me, how can they help? Well, I mean, if you'd like to help through offerings, donations, these are the ways. I don't know if that's visible. Can y'all see that? Maybe I need to move it. I don't know. Well, that's my Cashapp, my PayPal, and my Venmo. Those are the easiest ways to help me out. I would very much appreciate it because it really does help. Okay. So last week we started talking about mental health, psychological, spiritual health, and how oftentimes, if not all the time, it is at the root of the physical manifestations of health issues, disease, disorders, etc. And today I want to continue on that path, but also bring the emotional aspect of health into it, because they're very much connected. All right, so I'll be reading from my notes as well as this study guide right here. Study guide, and I'm reading from study guide 18, which is entitled Rising Above Emotion into the Thinking of God. And shoot, I want to be able to see from and think from that level, which is a process. But oftentimes emotions, when we don't have a handle on them, they can really cloud our logic and our judgment and really cause issues that are otherwise avoidable. Okay. Where shall I start? Well, let's talk about where emotion comes from. And this is from here. And if you would like to get this, because I'm telling you, these study guides are really life-changing. I probably say that almost every episode of of the Zen Zone. But I really mean it because I know what they've done for me. I know other people as well, and I can vouch for these study guides. If you'd like to get them, you can get them from the Final Call website. Dang, I know I had it up here somewhere. Let's see. There we go. finalcallstore.noi.org. Please excuse me, I'm still trying to get this thing together. The technology or whatever. But, it's a work in progress, and I appreciate you being on my journey with me while I work things out. But that is, if you want to get this and other books, you can go there, finalcallstore.noi.org. All right, so where emotion comes from. And these are the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. The brain is not only an organ of intellect and logic, it is also the source of emotion. Emotions are brought to life in what is known as the limbic system. The limbic system is a collection of parts that constitute approximately 20% of the brain's area. That's a big part of the brain. The forces of pride, fear, joy, grief, anger, lust, hatred, envy, and jealousy arise from this region of the brain. The limbic system is found surrounding the most primitive part of the brain and is found in almost the same form in all mammals. It is that part of man that is hardly distinguishable from beast. God says in the Bible, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." That's Isaiah 55, verse 8 and 9. The limbic system works with both the cerebrum above and the brainstem below. Its connections with the brainstem help maintain a state of emotional balance and alertness. Its connections with the cerebrum allows a person to temper emotion with reason. The goal is for the two processes to work in harmony, but the balance can be easily upset. The limbic system can become so highly activated that it overwhelms rational thought, making a person speechless with anger or joy. On the other hand, through conscious effort, a person can resist the natural urge to eat or drink, can fight back tears, or suppress sexual desire. Through conscious effort. That makes me think about fasting. In fact, our monthly unity fast will be taking place this weekend, and we will take our last meal tomorrow evening between 4 and 6, and then won't eat again until Sunday. And that is something that takes discipline, and it can help when you practice fasting. It can help with this getting together for your the processes of your emotional and logical minds to work together. Okay, I'm gonna put this part down for a second, although there's so much, because it goes into the processes and the hormones released and everything and how it works. It's really deep. But I think I want to go to my notes now, because I want to talk about the difference between mental health and emotional health. Because although they both have to do with the brain, they aren't exactly the same. They're interwoven, interconnected. They work synergistically to help us be balanced and be at peace. When we hide or suppress our thoughts and emotions, over time, that accumulation and that compounding can become toxic and lead to problems such as anxiety, depression, and panic attacks. It can also ultimately lead to physical manifestations, not just mental and emotional. So, mental health deals with behaviors and functions. The mind and the brain how we process and store information, cognitive thinking patterns, and paying attention, which is fueled by hormones and neurotransmitters. Now, if there is some sort of imbalance due to genetics or maybe the misuse of certain drugs, mind-altering substances, that can those causes the imbalance, and that can be worsened by chronic stress, and that can cause further physical disorders such as chronic inflammation, high blood pressure, and irritable bowel syndrome. When we don't learn how to manage stress efficiently, we can get caught up in a cycle of physical and mental health issues. I had a comment. Oh yeah, about the misuse of drugs and mind-altering substances. A lot of people, they do drugs because they are trying to escape reality, because they're dealing with difficulties and stress that they do not feel equipped to face and handle effectively and manage. So they do these drugs to escape, and when they do the drugs, it causes the brain to release chemicals that help them to feel good. But our brains can naturally do that if we were in a more balanced state. If we were in a more balanced state and in the relaxation mode that I referenced last week, then our brains would be able to release those feel-good hormones like dopamine and oxytocin through natural, positively stimulating activities. But, that's why we're talking about it, because mental health is such a huge thing. It's estimated that 1 in 5 people in the United States have some kind of mental health issue, such as depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder. There's so many. Even like the food things like bulimia, anorexia, it's very serious. So that was dealing with the mental health. So now to move on to emotional health, which is intertwined with mental health, and both mental and emotional health work together to help us to be able to handle stress. Now, we talked how mental health has more to do with processing information in the mind and the brain in that way. Emotional health is about how we express these thoughts and feelings, feelings and emotions that are produced by the thoughts that we think. Okay? When we're in a healthy emotional state, we can appropriately express our thoughts and feelings and deal better with positive and negative emotions that we experience. But being in a healthy emotional state doesn't necessarily mean that we're always going to be happy. I mean, that's unrealistic. It's natural to feel emotions. It's natural to feel sad when something sad happens, something upsets you. It's natural to become angry when somebody does something that angers you or something that you see. It is natural to experience the range of emotions that are out there. But it's how we deal with them that we have to get a hold on. It's how we handle the things that we experience. If you're in a healthy emotional state, you can cope better with the challenges, the trials, the difficulties, the disappointments, and stress. So mental and emotional health, they work together There's a synergy there in order for us to have a balanced state. So, a lot of the things that I was looking at in order to help us become more balanced emotionally are very similar to what I researched when it came to mental. That's because they do have similarities and they're very much connected. So you're going to hear some of the same things that I said last week, but some of them are a little different. So to help balance yourself emotionally, I mean, you definitely need to work with your mind, working with your thinking. So positive affirmations and positive thinking, actively, consciously doing that. Meditation, practicing meditation, as well as mindfulness practices. And there are different ways that you can practice mindfulness, being present in the moment. Sometimes people don't know exactly what that means, but oftentimes when you are emotionally imbalanced and you may be prone to being overly anxious very often, it causes you to be in a state of, like, when you're anxious or when you're afraid, you're not in the present moment, because it's like anxiety is dreading some perceived impending doom or impending threat or something, and whether it's a reality or not, oftentimes it's not, but it's because of the way our brains have held on to past situations that remind us of what we're experiencing now. So we're sometimes we're in the past and worried about a future that hasn't come. So some things, mindfulness tips or exercises or practices that you can do when you start to feel anxious is, well, let me read this one more, this thing. Being aware and present with your emotions and feelings, noticing what triggers them, and figuring out if what you're feeling is exaggerated, right? But when you're present with your feelings, being aware that you're feeling anxious right now, stop what you're doing and breathe. Oftentimes when you feel anxious, you may be holding your breath, you may be tensing up your shoulders, and so you want to breathe, get some oxygen going to your brain, right? Then do different things to become more present and aware of your surroundings. So identify the colors around you. I see this turquoise cup, this purple phone, and also identify the textures. So I don't know the name of this. What is this? I know what it is. It'll come to me later. Chiffon. Yeah, it's kind of like a chiffon. I feel this chiffon scarf and this satin shirt. I hear the sounds of the 639 hertz playing in the background. I hear my cat's water bowl. You know, helping yourself to be grounded in the present moment, in the here and now, can help alleviate anxiety if you're having some anxiety issues. What else does it say here? Think before you act. Oftentimes, we are too emotional. Like I said, feeling emotions is not bad. It's not wrong. It is perfectly natural. It serves a purpose. We are meant to feel. We are meant to emote. But we shouldn't act out on our emotions without processing them and thinking before we do. Oftentimes, we can impulsively do something, whether we're feeling good or we're feeling bad, and it ends up not being the best decision because we just acted on impulse and we didn't rationally go through why we should or shouldn't do this thing. You know, oftentimes people will think of just the negative part, like, I was so mad at my ex because he cheated on me, and I went to go smash his window, bust his window out his car. I've never done this, by the way, but you know, that's just an example. That's an irrational thing. That's a very emotional reaction to something. But if you would rise above your emotions into thinking, then you can talk yourself out of that emotional response and be like, yes, I'm really upset. He really hurt my feelings. I feel betrayed, blah, blah, blah. But if I do that, I mean, I can go to jail. And, you know, even though he hurt me, I don't want to get revenge. I don't want to do something just to make him feel bad because he hurt me. You know, it's maturity. Emotional maturity, intellectual maturity. You feel me? You feel what I'm saying? What else here? Oh yes, getting adequate rest and exercise. Man, it's so key. You know, oftentimes we don't function properly. We don't function at an optimum level because we're not getting enough rest at night and we're not exercising. You know, when you exercise, when you run and you do like real exercise regularly, it helps your brain to release those feel-good chemicals and endorphins, and that helps you to just overall be in a better mood generally. Even if it's just 10-20 minutes a day, do something. Do some jumping jacks, if you have jump ropes, if you can jog somewhere, do some yoga. Just get on YouTube and find a yogi. My good friends were telling me about this woman who goes by Adrian, Yoga with Adrian on YouTube. She's like the biggest YouTube yogi right now, and I've been looking at her as well. Check her out. Get something done. It doesn't matter what level you're at. Just move your body. We're not meant to sit down all the time. We're not meant to be still all of the time. Movement is vital to our health and our well-being. So, yeah, and getting rest. You know, it seems that this work culture in life is making us to either take rest for granted or feel like we don't deserve to rest and that we should be working more. And that's not the case. You know, we should be working, figuring out, you know, how we can secure ourselves and our future and all of that. I'm striving to do that every day. Yet, if you don't get proper rest, your mind is not able to rejuvenate your body, and you're not able to think. You're not able to think clearly. You're not able to. The functions of your brain are not going to work as well as if it was able to rest. So I really want to emphasize that. You know, I'm not about not getting enough rest personally. Everybody's different too, you know. Everybody doesn't need the same amount of rest. Everybody brain is different. So you might be good with 5 hours of sleep a night. Somebody might be better with 8, and that, it varies. But just get proper rest. Don't be sleeping like 2 hours a night and vamping, you know what I'm saying? And then going on with your life. It's not serving anyone. Yeah. I feel like there was something else I want to say about that. Oh yeah. When we are imbalanced and having situations like going through depression, sometimes, excuse me, it can cause you to sleep more than what is necessary and what is really good for you. So it's why it's really important to get a handle on our mental health as well as our emotional health, because that getting too much sleep is it's not productive. It's not good, but it might be the thing that you want to do. Or I've been depressed before. I've been depressed and I've been anxious. I had really, really bad anxiety. How many years ago now? Wow, like 9 years ago. I had really, really bad anxiety, and my anxiety stemmed from a failed relationship and just feeling really low about myself because of that relationship. There was infidelity involved, and deep down, I knew that it wasn't a good situation, but because I didn't have the proper view of myself and I didn't value myself, I tolerated a lot, I accepted a lot. And so when me and this person broke up and separated, I had such bad anxiety because I was so used to him being there and I was attached. So there was that separation anxiety. He wasn't around. I was constantly anxious. I mean, wake up anxious throughout the day, smoking weed, trying to relax, still being anxious, go to bed anxious. I had to play tracks like this, like nature ambiance tracks, and smoke in order to fall asleep. Otherwise, I couldn't sleep. But I didn't know these tips. I didn't know about mental and emotional health. And quite frankly, I don't think I was in the position to care because I was in just such a wretched state and not necessarily seeking solutions at that time. But I know that once I was done with that, when I was sick and tired of the situation I was in, that is when I started seeking out how I could heal and become better. And really, that's how I got to Islam. That's how I got to God. Being sick of my situation, which ultimately led me to this path, this healing path. And I'm thankful for that. But yeah, I'm speaking from experience. Like, I'm a very generally happy, bubbly person. For the most part, I have peace, but I experience emotions. I'm sad sometimes. I'm up and down. But these days, I do have a better handle on my emotions because I've been trying my best to apply these things that I've been learning about mental health and emotional health, managing stress, being real about it. In fact, another thing that can help dealing with your emotional health is balance your work life and your leisure activities. So you want to have both, of course. You don't want to overwork yourself, but you don't want to put things off and, play and not work enough, because that will increase your stress, honestly. If you are playing and not getting your work done, that will put a burden on you because you have things that you need to take care of. So finding that balance, and what would really help with that is creating some kind of schedule for yourself where you allot time out for different leisure activities that may help you with your emotions and your mental health, like yoga, meditation, even prayer. As a Muslim, we have prescribed times of the day, at least 5 times, where we go off and pray. We talk to our Creator, which has really helped. It really helps. So, if you're not Muslim, you can still do that. You can set out times throughout the day where you go to a quiet place, have that peaceful conversation with your Lord, and then get back to what you're doing. But I'm telling you, that is something that really helps. Especially, coming from a life where I didn't pray before. This is something I was missing my whole life. Connect with others who you can talk to about your feelings and your daily struggles. That is key. That is really key. Because, sometimes we don't want to speak about our struggles and our pain, maybe because we're embarrassed or we think that nobody's going to understand, but there's somebody. There's someone in your life. And if there's not, I would recommend going to therapy, getting a therapist. And I know that therapy, as well as even connecting with our friends during this time, there's a little challenge with that because of COVID. So people aren't really coming together like we were able to in the past. But I've been seeing a lot of things online because this time has been really trying on people's mental health. The fact that we're not able to come together with our people, and we're a communal species. We're meant to be with people. We're meant to come together. We're not meant to be isolated and alone for this much, So I know that a lot of people are struggling mentally and emotionally, which is part of the reason that I'm doing this, so we can come together. Even though we're not together in the physical, we're together in the virtual, in the spiritual. And I pray that you can feel the love that I have for you while we're together. But I've been seeing these like promoted things about BetterHelp to help people connect with therapists, because a lot of people are struggling. But if you can connect with somebody close to you as well, even if it's just on a video chat, express yourself. It's very important. Express yourself. It's not good for us to hold on and harbor our negative thoughts and feelings and just letting them fester inside, because they're not going away when you do that. They're there and they're accumulating until they become toxic, and they can manifest in a lot of different issues, that you don't want to experience. You can have a mental breakdown. It can cause even more stress in your life, and stress leads to so many different things. Some of the things that I mentioned earlier, like high blood pressure, irritable bowel syndrome, chronic inflammation, a lot of things. And so it's very important to connect with others and express yourself. It'll do wonders for your mental health. And of course, you don't want to talk to just anybody. Make sure you find someone that you trust, because there's somebody there that will understand. And be there for other people too. We all going through stuff. Be there for your people. Okay. Let me see. Peace. I see folks from YouTube on here. Peace, all love. Peace, Israel. Oh, it's been a minute. Peace, Tatek. Israel says emotional health refers to how you deal with or avoid dealing with your feelings. An emotionally healthy person has a relaxed body, an open mind, and an open heart. Yeah. Wa alaikum salam. Okay. Let's see what the folks are saying on Facebook. Respect and love. Much love, much love. Okay. It's mostly just telling me that the people are watching with me. That's cool. I'm going to, what time is it? 6:32. Dang, it's 6:32 already. Oh my goodness, time be flying. Okay. Does anybody have any comments or feedback about what we're discussing that you'd like me to know? And we can get into it. I want to read this before we go. Again, this is the study guide. I'm reading study guide 18, Rising Above Emotion into the Thinking of God. And if you want to get it, it's at this website here. Oh boy. Yeah. Final call, store.noi.org. All right. There are nerve pathways interwoven throughout the limbic system which send a continuous flow of electrochemical impulses that direct human drives and emotions. The hippocampus converts information from short-term to long-term memory. It constantly checks information relayed to the brain by the senses and compares it to the experience. The thalamus serves as a major relay station, passing information from sensory and motor nerves to the brain. Nestled between the thalamus above and the brainstem below, there is a small cluster of nerve cells called the hypothalamus. It has one of the richest blood supplies in the entire body, though it is only the size of a thumb tip. That's amazing. From the hypothalamus arise intense feelings or emotions. Pleasure and pain, sexual arousal, aggression, rage, as well as hunger and thirst all emanate from this point. The hypothalamus is also a complex thermostat system that reacts to messages from skin receptors and heat-sensitive nerve cells as it maintains the body's internal balance, holding the temperature at approximately 98.6 degrees. For this reason, our emotional reactions cause a change in temperature. The phrase heat of passion refers to the climb in temperature. Hunger and thirst centers in the hypothalamus track glucose levels in the blood. When supplies of glucose, energy and food, are too low, the brain, not the stomach, generates hunger pangs. The sensation of thirst does not originate in the throat, but here in the brain, when receptors indicate the salt level in the blood is too high. Above the hypothalamus is the amygdala, a mass of nerve cells that is specifically related to feelings of outrage and aggression. The septum, linked to the hypothalamus at the front of the limbic ring, contains a pleasure center. Oh my God, there's so much here. And it talks about that process of how the chain of command when it comes to the body responding to a perceived impending threat. And we kind of went into it last week, but I'm going to read it how it's written here because this is very valuable information. So the chain of command is as follows. 1. Hypothalamic chemicals signal the pituitary gland of danger, possibly fatal. 2. Pituitary signals one of its endocrine gates to bolster defenses. It does this by flashing a message, secreting a stress hormone which finds its way through the bloodstream to important stations. 3. The stress hormone ACTH, or adrenocorticotropic, ACTH, first travels to the fighting adrenal glands on the kidneys. Another adrenal chemical begins converting fats and proteins into sugar. The adrenals spew out adrenaline and noradrenaline, causing the heart to pump faster, blood pressure to rise, and the pupils of the eyes to dilate widely for improved vision. And 5. The combined surge of hormones relaxes the bronchial tubes for deeper breathing, increases the blood sugar to supply maximum energy, slows down the digestive process to conserve muscular energy, shifts blood supplies so they are able to clot more easily on an open wound. In a matter of seconds, a threatened body becomes a tight coil of altered substances, prepared to meet the challenge. In this state, it can perform feats of strength and endurance far beyond normal capacity. I remember when I was a child, I heard about a woman whose child was like stuck under a car or something like that. And this woman, this process, this chain of command that I just read had to have gone on with her, because when you have those chemicals surging through your body and it's at a very heightened level, you can do miraculous things. I believe I heard that the woman had lifted the car to save her child, and it was like, what? And I remember my dad telling me, it's because of adrenaline. And that was all I knew. I knew that about adrenaline, but I didn't know about how deep this process is and all of the different things that the brain does and, orders to make these things possible. It is important to note that what triggers this chain of reactions is the brain's interpretation of external forces as life-threatening. It is not a question of whether we are actually threatened, but whether we think we are threatened. That is important, because that is why this process can happen when we're not necessarily being threatened by something, but we perceive something as a threat. And that is where the issue lies, because we're not supposed to continue to have these responses. It's for a fight or flight situation. It's for a life or death situation. But we tend to have them with lesser issues, and that is what causes even like stress hormones to be released into our bloodstream, and when we should be in a more relaxed state, as we talked about last week. Okay. All right. It's all right, Jalissa, that you're late, because if you'd like, you can watch the replay. It was pretty good, if you ask me. I enjoyed sharing what I did. Kaija says, I love learning about the limbic system. Glad you read that. I'm glad that you like learning about it. I do too. It's really fascinating. Just our brains and the way it's just this brain, this mind is such a masterful organ. And there's so much that we still don't even know, that we haven't tapped into. That in and of itself, it's just, there's so much that we are still learning, and we learn all the time. But to study the things that we do know and to learn about these processes is very interesting to me. It's very fascinating, and I've become more and more interested as the years are going on. But this, man, we really got to get this in order. We have to rise above emotion and think. One more time, I'm going to plug this. study guide. If you want to get this study guide, you can get it at this website right here, finalcallstore.noi.org. I was reading from Study Guide 18, Rising Above Emotion into the Thinking of God. But yeah, man. If there's anything else that anybody has to say. Antoinette says, I love everything I heard. Thank you. Thank you for listening. I'm glad that you loved what you heard. And I pray that there was something beneficial and helpful to you. If there's nothing else, I'll begin to wrap this thing up. Oh yeah, before I go, I want to reiterate that the monthly fast that I take part in, which is the Unity Fast, is taking place this weekend, where we take our last meal on the first Thursday of the month, which will be tomorrow, and we don't eat anything until Sunday evening. So after our meal on Thursday, then we don't eat Friday, we don't eat Saturday, and then Sunday we break our fast. But we can have coffee and water, and some people drink tea as well. I think the original guidelines were just water and coffee. And if you're going to drink coffee, don't fill it up with half cream, half sugar, okay? Because that would defeat the purpose of the fast. But if you would like to participate in the fast, I have posted some information about it on my Instagram story, so you can check that out. And I'm going to post it other places as well. I'm going to put it on Facebook. Matter of fact, I meant to do that earlier. Please forgive me. Yeah, I'm going to put it on Facebook, and I put it on Twitter as well. And I'm going to put it on my YouTube timeline. So if you'd like to participate in the fast with me, with us, please feel free to. And if you have any questions about it, if you need any assistance, reach out to me on Instagram or Twitter. That's or when I post it on Facebook, you can also comment under that post so I can see it and we can dialogue about it. All right, y'all. Well, that's about it. That is our time. I don't want to take too much of your time. Thank you again for visiting the Zen Zone. Thank you for your time, your presence, your energy, your interest, your donations, everything. I love this. I love this time that we have together, and I'm happy that I can share information. I pray that when you come to the Zen Zone, you feel lighter when you're here with me. I pray that you can decompress from the day. I know that some of us are in different time zones, but hopefully you don't have to, you're able to relax when you're in the Zen Zone, because that is my intention. My intention is to help enlighten and decompress and relax while we're here, rising above the chaos of this wicked world. And if there's anything that you might want to hear, like maybe as a topic in the realm of healing and well-being, and even maybe expounding on something that you heard here, feel free to send me a message, and we can get into it and maybe talk about it on the Zen Zone in depth. Let me know. I really appreciate you all, and I pray that you have a wonderful rest of your day and the rest of your week. I look forward to coming together with you all once again next week. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I want to wait a second if anybody has anything else to say before I, get on out of here. Because I know there's actually like a delay with the video and everything, so I don't know if I'm missing anything. All right. Okay, well, thank you once again for your time, your energy, and your presence here with me. And we are now exiting the Zen Zone.